just relax, and I could just feel like I'm good. And I did sleep so much better. Yeah. So
That's what I mean, Kim. We take them for granted. I was doing a show a couple of weeks. We've been doing a lot of showcase hockey tournaments. And for people that are not familiar with a lot of hockey, Canada is huge for hockey. And what a showcase tournament is, it's when somebody hosts a tournament and they bring all the elite players in.
oh,
And along with the elite players come the scouts. Come the scouts for the junior teams, for the colleges that are recruiting players, for the universities that are recruiting, for the junior A teams that are recruiting players. That's where the scouts come to do their shopping for the elite players.
mm-hmm.
So we luckily got into 4 of these down in the Cornwall area. And again, I have my set patches that I wear every day. Well, there's one girl that I was working with, Jen. She wears the focus patch to work every day. And she speaks to she speaks to a lot of people. She's got to have a lot of focus on what she's doing at work. She wears a focus patch every day. She said, Heather, do you wear this patch? I said, no. She said, try one. See if you notice a difference. Holy man. And you know yourself when you're at a show, you speak to so many people. By the end of the day, you're just like a robot. You're just saying it. Well,
Yeah.
that focus patch just kept me right on.
Yeah, it shows you have to be very focused because there's like a whole process to the whole thing. I mean, it's not just about talking about this, then there's, moving them along the process so they actually get the technology, right? I mean, there's just, and then you have to remember, signing them up for a giveaway or getting their information. There's just all these little pieces to do a show correctly. Yeah. And, you don't just stand there and, chat. So, and then there's so many people coming and going and coming back, and there's a lot. I can totally get the focus patch. That's smart. Yeah.
We were also, this was another thing that was amazing. We were also piggybacking the focus patch with the victory patch. Mm-hmm. And we had the opportunity to work with 𝐏𝐕𝐄𝐍 on a few of these tournaments. And for those that are in the business, 𝐏𝐕𝐄𝐍 is like the founder. He was the first associate, the first practitioner with our company. Kevin is also a sports medicine therapist. He's forgot more about sports medicine than most of us will ever know. And he works with another practitioner in Southern Ontario, and they work at a clinic where they do a lot of rehab work with major elite athletes and people dealing with head trauma. Well, we had the opportunity to work with Kevin there. Well, Kevin got us putting that focus patch and the victory patch together on these players, particularly the goalies.
Yeah.
When a regular line goes out to play their line in a hockey game, they only have to stay focused for whatever number of minutes, usually 2 minutes, that they're on the ice. Whereas a goalie has to stay focused for their whole game. The difference was night and day. The players noticed, their coaches noticed, their trainers noticed, the parents noticed. Wow. What did you put on the kid?
How awesome.
Well, we were putting the, yeah. So then the parents are thinking, if this kid is that focused in their hockey game, what will it do for them for school? Bang.
Correct.
They get it. Yep. So there was a lot of people coming back and buying focus patches for their kids for school, because it's so important in sports these days to have the education that goes along with it.
Right. And I haven't talked to anybody about like the head injury issue. I mean, because all these kids get bonked in the head one way or another. And, that all those traumas add up over time. And we don't know why our kids are not thriving in school, but a lot of it could be head trauma from sports, I mean, whether you get whacked by a bat or there's just, you fall on your, tackled or whatever it is. There's so many ways you can get these little head traumas, and they all add up, and we kind of blow them off. But our technology addresses that specifically.
There's another thing we noticed at those tournaments, Kim, and I'm not sure if you were on the call with, I mentioned it to Terry on one of the team training calls a couple of weeks ago, but we had several players that got hurt. Two of them in particular had back injuries. They went into the boards and had bad backs and went down on the ice. Another one took a puck to the shin. But all of these kids came out of the change room clearly in a lot of pain. So they would come right over to our table and say, do you have anything for pain? Yeah, we have a patch for that. So we put our freedom patch on them. And it was amazing how fast the patch started working on them. And this pain patch has been out for, I'm going to say, well, at least a year and a half.
Yeah, it seems like it's such an important patch, and I can't believe it's only been out that long, honestly.
Well, and the thing is, we have had so much experience putting this patch on people. We put it on people walking around the vendor show with a bad back. Inevitably, they come back and say, what did you put on me? But one thing we noticed is on the athletes was it was almost instant. And I've put this patch on thousands of people, but with these athletes, we were noticing the results were almost instant. Like the kid that took the puck to the shin, he had a bump the size of a puck and probably a good inch up on the front of his shin.
Yeah.
We put one of these right on the spot, and he went from having a hard time walking to getting up and walking across the foyer, and we're going, what the heck? And the same thing happened with the two lads that hurt their backs. And we all know this is neurological. We all know you put it along the neurological pathway. So you or I would insist on putting this on the neurological pathway on the spinal cord above where the kid was sore. Well, his mom was there, and mom knows best. So mom wanted it right on the side where his back was sore. So I put two on him. Put one right on his spine, one right where he was sore, just to satisfy mom. Well, the results were almost instant.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that to Terry. I said, like, Terry, it was so ironic that with all these kids with their injuries, and these boys are big, like a lot of them are 6'2", 6'4", they're 16, 17 years old, they're right in their prime, they're in the best shape ever. And I said, why is it working so fast? So now he was wondering if it's because the injury was so new. Because it was a fresh, we don't know. Like I said, we're always learning. But one thing that was very evident, the injuries were brand new.
Right.
Because we've also put this on people that have been dealing with chronic pain their whole lives. Some people, it might take up to 10 or 15 days to start working, and that's why we have our 30-day money-back warranty. But that's just something that Terry suggested, that it might be because the injuries were brand new.
Yeah, that would make sense because, you know, over time you create this pain pathway.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah, I know I broke my arm last year, and I instantly put a pain patch on it, you know, the freedom patch, and it didn't even swell.
Yep.
It was like wild, but it did hurt, but it didn't swell, it didn't bruise. I was convinced it wasn't broken. It wasn't until we had an x-ray way later that I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, that pain, you know, I mean, I slapped that, and it's like, to me, that's what you keep that around for whatever occurrence that you might need it, because I'm not in pain every day, so I don't need to wear it. But I mean, something happens, and just having it there just gives you a lot of relief real fast.
No, it does. I wear it when I'm doing shows because I've got neck issues from the way I walk. When I'm doing a vendor show, just from us doing that balance test, doing the dynamic stability test and pulling down on some of these people's hands. And some of these kids, like I said, are big boys. Like they outweigh me by a good 100 pounds. When you're doing a dynamic stability test on them, you're really pulling on them. Well, inevitably, I would get a wicked sore neck that would result in a headache. So I just wear,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. I wear a pain patch here
Yeah, I can see it now. Uh-huh.
all the time because that's always where they stem from.
Okay.
Um, and it's funny. If you forget about it, you know it.
Yeah,
It's
those demos that take it out on me. It's like that's why I don't do a lot of shows, because doing a lot, it's physically, it's way harder than people think. It's a lot of work, especially if you're doing demos a lot. So
even standing on those
yeah,
floors
yeah,
because we're on concrete floors for 3 days straight,
yeah,
from usually 7 in the morning till 7 at night. That is hard on your legs and feet.
definitely.
So it was the second day of the first show where I discovered that if you put one of these right on the bottom of your foot,
Yeah.
right your metatarsals on each foot, pain-free. And I was telling another girl, Jen Moyer, about it. And she said, I'm going to try that. So sure enough, she tried it at her next show and messaged me right back and said, holy cow, you weren't kidding. My feet aren't sore at all. And I threw a patch on the bottom of each foot this morning before I came out. The
Wow,
tech is amazing.
that is amazing, because yeah, when your feet hurt, everything hurts. I just
We're like
you get
horses.
grumpy. You're grumpy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So it's
I am enjoying this. We need to kind of wrap it up because this is it's getting long here. I think we're at like 30 minutes or something. So, but I really appreciated all your stories, Heather. I mean, I know we can just talk about this for hours and hours and hours, and we do, when we're together in groups and stuff, and it's fun. And, you know, it's what keeps us going because, it works. What we're doing, it works for us, it works for them, and we're just helping the world live a happier, healthier, pain-free life without drugs or chemicals or any ingredients whatsoever. It's completely safe for everyone, and that I love that part, because we can just recommend it to, you know, children and older people who are on all kinds of medication, and it's not a concern because we're not adding anything to the mix, right? So yeah, I really thank you for coming on. I'm going to stop this thing, and I'll message you in just a minute, okay? Thank you for
perfect.
coming. Have a wonderful
Thanks,
day.
Kevin.
Bye bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye now.
Bye.